Drive away your worries and cares at this drive-in theater, where you will see the finest motion pictures of all time, soon to be released. Drama, comedy, adventure, excitement, something for everyone. Here's a brief glimpse of some of the truly fine pictures we've scheduled in the near future.
As time has gone on, it just seems like you go to the movies and you get a little bit less and a little bit less as like the last 20 years have gone on. But I even think for the last 30 years. There used to be a thing where you'd go to the movies and it was kind of a big thing.
Right.
All right, and it was a big show and there you go. And now it's kind of fallen down into almost like just you're renting a chair for 2 hours and then you leave.
But ultimately, a film festival doesn't change much of the landscape. You see, we have 4,000 film festivals in the world. Problem is that we have no more than 3-4 real good films.
We'd like to go right into 6 episodes with a pickup option at the end of 3.
Thanks for calling. Netflix, you're greenlit. Who am I speaking with?
There's an important conversation going on about the stories we want to tell, how, and who we want to tell them. It seems us cave dwellers have started to deeply consider the paintings on the walls. The landscape is shifting, moving more and more every day into the streaming world.
Soon every American home will integrate their television, phone, and computer. You'll be able to visit the Louvre on one channel or watch female mud wrestling on another. You can do your shopping at home or play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam.
Netflix's current market value is around $231 billion and has just under 182.8 million subscribers, making it one of the world's largest entertainment services, and growing. Hollywood is manifesting into something else, and it unnerves me that it might be akin to the depersonalization of story. You look at Hollywood films of the 50s, and the majority is centralized around the human experience, what it means to exist. Whereas in 2021, it seems we're exploring what it means to not. Roller coasters, reboots, and superheroes. Which, don't get me wrong, I love these films more than most people. They're like candy, they rock, but it's all an illusion, a fabrication. A green screen set trudging its way to an ethereal streaming service. It could all disappear in a day.
Fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
It's as if for the first time in the history of the human race, we have literally lost touch with story. The material factor is no longer present. But let's face it, streaming services are awesome. These movies are awesome. But the crucial factor of the cinematic experience is lost in the fog of comfort. Going into a dark space with strangers, having light strobe its way into you having a potentially life-changing experience. You can't just get up and walk away. You must confront what you're seeing in the moment. You must wrestle with the feeling. Cinema has the power to pop the filter bubble ever present in our lives. And the more and more intangible and depersonalized stories become, the less we are forced to self-reflect.
How did I get here?
The delivery system of cinema is going to change. And that's almost kind of more exciting in a way for me, besides the actual cameras. Because the very ancient system of putting a can of film on a truck, driving into a city, unloading it, that's being replaced.
The old way of having to ship giant film cans around is very, very expensive. So the business realized that there was a tremendous possible savings in digital delivery and digital projection.
We all want the pristine print. We all want the first print off the negative. But we can't have that. So you have to copy it. And the advantage with DCP is there's no real copying. Once it's scanned, it doesn't get copied again. It's cloned, so it's exactly the same thing.
It's intermission. Rise and stretch time. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for hot popcorn? Your favorite soft drinks are sparkling cold. The juicy Frank sizzling hot. There's delicious coffee, freshly brewed, and all kinds of ice cream and candy to tempt you. Showtime will be announced loud and clear to get you back to your car in time. So stretch your legs. Come to the snack bar now.
it's going to be digital projection. That's going to be the norm. It's just that's the way the world's going. So you make it the best you can, you know. And it's certainly got a lot of advantages that film never had. Consistency being a really big one.
Digital projection for me, the advent of it, and when it became really good, was a great turning point, because you sit in that cinema and before those curtains open, you feel safe and secure that the DCP is going to always be consistent. You never knew with film prints what was really going to come up, whether it was going to scratch before it actually came through. It is always a lottery, and sometimes covered in dirt. I mean, I saw Inherent Vice at the New York Film Festival and projected on film at the Lincoln Center, and I didn't know whether they wanted it to be really dirty and almost like gone through generations, but it was just covered in dirt, and I just was taken away from the film. So digital projection, I loved when that came out, and I absolutely don't really regret. I don't mind seeing it on old films and other people's work, but not on my own.
So the change is financially practical, consistent, safe, and sometimes just practical. But so is eating 2-minute noodles every day for the rest of my life. The problem is that it's just not really good for me. We still have fantastic films and auteurs out there championing their art. But taking the Transformers films as an example, lately they are about the Transformers, whereas the original film had an emphasis on a young man's relationship to his first car, a coming-of-age story. It's important we keep the emphasis on us, on the human experience, on self-reflection, on good versus evil, right and wrong, on beauty and newness. The phrase percolating in our brains older than speech itself. What's the moral of the story? I could say it myself, but he says it's so much better.
When you absolutely positively got to wow everyone in the room, except no substitutes.
And now, on with the show.
So, I guess, goodbye Hollywood. But to stop this essay from being one nihilistic cinephile's hurrah, there is a positive to this trajectory. Each day we get access to more pertinent stories through these mediums. The independents have a chance of lodging their story alongside the big guns, and we have access to seeing them. Finally, we have a system that has the ability to uphold the stories of the working class, the poverty-stricken, the ostracized, and the downtrodden, amongst that of extreme wealth and power. The thought that those in positions of power may stumble across a narrative founded in sincerity is truly hopeful. More so than ever, we could quite literally establish an even playing field for everyone, each sharing unique stories amongst each other. We're finally hearing the stories we are yet to hear, stories never before seen, tales never before told. I, for one, can't wait for the positives available to us in this new territory. But this terrain and transition in particular requires a new touch of delicacy and attention from all those involved. Truth is priority number one. Warwick Thornton puts it perfectly.
We're starting to actually talk our truth, an oral history that's been passed down, and a different version of history, what we know our history as. And so it's really important to be truthful, because it actually, even though it's fiction in a way, and it's based on a true story, there's actually, we as Indigenous filmmakers, we have to be incredibly succinct and precise, because this is our history, and we don't want to go and, fantasize it. You know what I mean? We've all got an opportunity to speak the truth and to have a dialogue, even though it's fiction, so we have to get it right. So the investment in getting it right, is really important to Indigenous filmmakers and artists in general.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.